This phrase, whole imperial guard, or as we mentioned, the word praetorium that it comes from, helps us get a bit of a picture of the imprisonment that Paul is experiencing. There are three different levels of prison life that a person could potentially experience in the Roman Empire at this time. One would be in what's called the carceral imprisonment, which had two levels. This would have been the most significant, worst prison experience imaginable. It had two levels. The top level would have been the general population, but it would have been filled with murderers and thieves and the worst kind of criminals that we might imagine. We get our word incarceration from this carcer prison experience that many Roman criminals would go through. And then the lower level would have been those who were about to experience capital punishment. They were about to be killed for their crimes. It was in a pit. Then the second level, we'll come back to the second level. The third level was more like a house arrest kind of experience. This second style of imprisonment would have been with the military, with the Praetorium Guard. The Praetorium was a unique part of the Roman military. It was Caesar's special group of armed forces. There were usually three groups, 500 each, and one group would constantly be on guard at the royal palace. These were elite soldiers. If there was such a thing as the Navy SEALs, even though there's 500 of them, this would have been kind of like the Navy SEALs. They were paid more, they were highly honored. That's what the Praetorian Guard would have been. This second experience, second level of imprisonment, was related to being imprisoned with the military. Oftentimes, this just meant you were in prison with the military as they marched towards a capital city, but it was also known at times to be part of the imprisonment that someone might experience once they were in the capital city. Paul was most likely imprisoned with a praetorium. What's unique about this kind of experience is that the prisoner would have been chained to one of the guards. One of these elite soldiers, it appears, was chained to Paul. Now imagine what that would have looked like. Paul says, yes, my situation's bad, but it's okay because it's working out for the advancement of the gospel. And here's what that looks like. My imprisonment, or literally in the Greek, my chains are becoming famous all over the Praetorian Guard, which was about 1,500 people, and everyone else around, which we don't know how many people that would have been. Potentially the entire Caesar's palace, because this would have been part of the Caesar ruling administration. And all of them are starting to hear about Paul and the fact that he's in prison because of his devotion to Jesus Christ. That's the text, the what. In the next video, I want to speak to a few takeaways from these verses.